Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile video. Today we're going to go through the patch notes of 3.30 Necklace of the Atlas. Anyways, hi. I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm not sure how my editor will do this, but we are going to... I'm going to do a quick TLDR for some of the important things that I feel that we should mention. There will be a link in the descriptions below to the patch notes, of course. You guys can check it out. Golems. We can start with Minion stuff, because a lot of people are just waiting for me to talk about Minions. Golem seems to be pretty fair. Lots of nerfs. Biggest ones were actually the Ascendancies. There was 20% cut on the Carrions and 10% of the Stone Golems in the patch notes. So not that big of a deal. However, the Ascendancies hurt a bit more. I think they will still be fine, but we won't be, because of the aura stacking changes, won't be able to see any 90% all resistance Golem builds running about. So I think it's going to be fine. The build's going to be on a more reasonable level. But still, it's going to be noticeable. Very noticeable. But it shouldn't be making the build dead. The other Minion-related parts are two things. We have the Spectres, which I've mentioned in the past as well. It's not going to be that massive that people make it out to be. So Necromancer will still be among the strongest classes you can play in the game. For a lot of options, like even VD spells, Spellslinger builds will work very well. But when it comes to Minion-related Necromancer builds, we still have SRS, which are completely untouched. So we can still pull off 50, 60 million Shaper DPS. Soul Rest builds, both as a Guardian or Necromancer, untouched. Still going to be pulling millions upon millions of DPS in low-budget states. It's going to be very simple to play, very easy to play. It's going to be fun. We also have Guardian, or when it comes to the DB or hop builds, untouched. Animate weapons, untouched. Well, basically, you lost a little bit of duration, but it's not a big deal. When it comes to skeletons, there was a Mage skeletons on Dead Reckoning. Got a pretty juicy buff. First off, we're getting 50% more damage, and I'm assuming this is the baseline damage for the Mage Skeletons, which is actually very big. But most importantly, they have doubled the projectile speed, allowing us to very comfortably actually run Mage Skeletons for the sake of clearing. They have already been off-screening enemies, and now with the projectile speed being doubled, you can actually have them do that more reliably. One of the biggest problems with the Mage Skeletons is visual clutter. You won't be able to see the screen. However, what this makes me think when it comes to the Mage Skeleton approach is that we're going to revert back to the old school 5-year-old build called the Lich Queen, where we're using Spectres and Skeletons combined, where one of the minions is there to sort clearing and the other for single target. Now with the Spectre nerfs, melee Spectres is going to be the most reliable in terms of survivability, and there's basically 4 very big options when it comes to melee Spectres that I can bring up to the table, just like this out of the blue. And that's what I will be doing, because melee Spectres are insanely good for single target, but they're very bad, or somewhat bad, when it comes to clearing, which the Mage Skeletons will sort. These options goes from, in my case, the 4th worst one will be a Stone Skin Flares, for example. Very, very good. Juiced up HP at 73. They have a baseline life of 22,000. So it's going to be very, very reliable in terms of HP. They have this Whirling Charge with 100% more attack speed. Pretty good baseline damage for this with an attack rate of 1.3, but that's with this attack, and this is the one we're actually going to be looking at, and that's a 10-second cooldown. I'm not a big fan of these, but they will work. Most importantly, you can pick them up in the early stages of the Delve encounters, which is from the Primeval Fortresses. I wouldn't suggest using them, but some people like using them. So to the top 3 choices that I would choose is another one from Delve called the Vol Outpost, called the Enhanced Vol Fallen. These bad boys are using Elemental Hit, which goes very well with the way Mage Skeletons works, because they shoot random elements, so each skeleton will either have fire, lightning, or cold, which means you will be scaling with Elemental Penetration and Elemental Weakness Curse, for example, which makes this choice a very, very good one. Now, they have a very high base damage. Their HP at 73 is sitting at 6.1k HP, not the best. When you bring them up to 84, they're 17,000 HP, but they should be more than fine in surviving. They have Leap Slam and they have a melee attack, so you want to use Multi-Strike, which will also affect their Leap Slamming, so they're going to be very, very effective to get them into enemy packs and kill them very effectively. So I think that the Enhanced Vol Fallen will be one of the first introduction level Spectres that you want to look for, which is in the Delve encounters. So normally you'd use something like Slave Drivers or whatever Spectre you have access to, Solar Guards or something, until you get to the point where you encounter this fortress to pick them up in the Delve encounters. Unless you want to go to the global channel and pick them up from someone else there, or in my stream chat, or in my Discord server. I'm sure there's plenty of people playing Summoners to get the Spectres from them. Normally, we have the top 2 choices, which are the more harder to achieve. There are 2 different ways. We have Redemption Knights, which is similar to the Redemption Sentries, but this is the melee version. They have the 75% conversion into cold, making the Grip of the Council the better choice over Triad Grip. They have a juiced up HP at the lower level. They have 11,000 base, and at 84, which we can achieve, they have about 31,000. Good attack rate and very, very, very good damage approach, especially when it comes to single target. And this can be very, very good because you can make these bad boys taunt, which makes them very reliable when it comes to fighting the 10 boss fights in Maven. However, the winner of the current best Spectres, in my opinion, is going to be the Primal Crush Claws. Now, we have two different ways of summoning these. Get lucky with Harvest Counters, or get yourself the Phantasmal or whatever it's called. The Desecrate alternative quality that allows us to summon Forgotten Corpses. Buy the jewel or the gem and sit in your hideout to spam corpses till you spawn a Primal Crush Claws. You'll see the body being a big blue shit on the ground, and then you summon that one, and once you've summoned it, it's going to be in the Desecrate drop table anyways, and then you use a normal Desecrate after that. So you just use that one to generate the actual initial corpse, and then you're going to use Primal Crush Claws. Now, Primal Crush Claws has a baseline HP at the lower levels at 32.5k, and higher levels they have 91,000 base HP, making them fucking insane in terms of survival. They have a 75% conversion into cold damage, making, again, Grip of the Council the better choice, which doesn't really help your Mage skeletons, but that's not a big problem. They have a massive amount of damage. They have the dash slam, 50% converted cold on top of this. However, they have 160% of the damage, deal 200% of base attack damage, which is basically one of the bigger things they're going to use. And then they have that little burst that they use every 10 seconds, which is also pretty crazy. Now, the problem with the burst and the dash is though they only have 50% converted to cold. Since we are most likely going to want to use Bone Chill support on Skitter bots, we might actually want to use Triad Grip with 4 green like we've done with Syndicate Operatives in the past because of these two if we're using Primal Crush Claws. But you can still use Grip of the Council because we're again going to be in a position where we're going to use Hatred, of course, for that extra addition of Fist has extra damage because their baseline damage is physical. So we're going to go through this a lot when I'm making the build for this. Obviously, my build guide is listed in the descriptions below if you want to check it out. So that's for the minions when it comes to the patch notes that I wanted to mention. Another big thing that I think is really important to bring up is actually that they changed the efficacy. What efficacy is, instead from level 31, they've lowered the numerical benefit from it at the lower levels and made us available to get this at level 8. This allows us to put efficacy as a blue support for something like Caustic Arrow in Act 1. It allows us to have more options for dot builds in general in the early stages before you get to level 31 or 38 later. Which is really, really big, and I like this idea as well. For some builds can use some green supports, and some builds can use green and blue supports, and some builds is going to be gated behind blue supports. And this allows us to have different options based on the colors or the links you get throughout the early stages of leveling. So I think that this is a great decision to bring this down to level 8. Other than that, I saw that Quinn68 got super happy about the Ballista stuff, and he's talking about making a Hierophant build.
God, I might be going to Hierophant shit. I might be going to fucking a Siege Ballista Hierophant. Oh. No cap on a stack. Like, think about that. What do you guys reckon? People talking shit saying Hierophant's a terrible.
I wonder whose build Quinn will copy this time. Whatever.
Oh, Quinn. Quinn. Oh my god. Okay, dude. Okay, man. Want to see 0 DPS? Well, he's going to be living up to that. So, Hierophant is still shit as the result of the patch notes. And Necromancer still will be one of the best ascendancies in the game. Other than that, it wasn't many choices. There wasn't that much in the patch notes that were big that I feel that I needed to talk about too much, but that's basically my TLDR of the things that stood out the most. I think another thing to mention, I guess, would be the map device. We have no Delirium and no Nemesis as a Sana modifier, which means that we don't have Deli farming and we don't have Headhunter farming, making Headhunter actually rather expensive, and the way you farm it will be BC and tower maps for the cards or the league-specific mechanics. And another thing to mention, which is outside of these things when it comes back to builds, would be that Frostbomb looks fucking insane. Frostbomb looks crazy. 300% damage effectiveness, big damage increase on the high end, and radius increasement per level. We will definitely be doing a Frostbomb build as well. Other than that, there was just a lot of nerfs to the alternative quality gems across the board in the patch notes. Bama builds, that is Mirror Arrow and Blink Arrow. Thank you very much for the sub, Mirko. So Mirror Arrow and Blink Arrow seems to be absolutely crazy. I know Prevalin, another top-end minion player in the community, is a big fan of Bama, which is the name of the Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow build, and they are just going to be absolutely crazy now with the changes that has been made. But that's basically all I have for the TLDR of the patch notes. If you guys think that I should have mentioned something else, or if there's something else you guys reacted to, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, boys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more content, or you'll never drop an Exalted Ore for the rest of your life. Till next time, stay safe and keep rocking.